नमो नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णस्ताय बद्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवान् प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात देशदान जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद सद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम हरे हरे. Thank you, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. Let me know when you are able to see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. So, this chapter from Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, chapter 19 is talking about how to achieve the love of God, devotional service, what kind of devotional services we can perform to obtain the love of the God. This is not something a business, you go and buy this love of God. It has to be developed over the time. To get the pure love of God is not only our effort, the mercy of Krishna, mercy of the Supreme Lord has to be there. Without His mercy, though we put any efforts, without His mercy, without His karuna, His mercy, we cannot get the love of God. Okay, how to achieve that love of God in this Rupa Goswami Prabhupada beautifully explaining in this chapter. I'll just summarize whatever previous speaker spoke, then we connect to what I'm supposed to speak today. Okay, so here Prabhupada beautifully writing that when one's desire to love Krishna's a particular relationship becomes intensified, when you have developed a love for Krishna, right? And that love will be manifested into a relationship, right? If you want to have in the material world, you want to love someone, we have to have a relationship first developed. The relationship developed, the love, beloved, and it goes on. Then the love develops. Same way here, we have to develop relationship with Krishna. This is known as pure love of Godhead. Pure love of Godhead. We'll go to the different stages of the devotional practice, how to achieve the pure love of God. In the beginning, a devotee is engaged in the regulative principles of devotional service by the order of a spiritual master. Whether Prabhupada and our spiritual masters, we get the regulative principles. Regulative principles are following the rules and regulations, we start executing devotional service to Krishna. At that point, you may not have a love developed for Krishna, but you do sometimes mechanically regulated principles. I have to get up at 4 o'clock means you get up 4 o'clock. You chant 4 to 6 means you chant 4 to 6. And whether you have a taste for Krishna Nam or not, you chant it, because that's the regulated principles given by spiritual master. When one thereby becomes completely purified, all material contamination, then develops the attachment and taste to the devotional service. So Rupa Goswami Prabhupada beautifully explains a ladder how a devotee progresses in the devotional. Am I audible, Matajis? Can you hear me?
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So the Rupa Goswami Prabhupada beautifully explained the ladder of devotional service, how devotional service develops for the living entity. So if you look at here, first there, when the completely purified all material contamination. So Rupa Goswami Prabhupada Ado Shraddha first. So the Ado Shraddha means a pliable faith. The faith is not constant, it's not firm, it's a pliable, shaky. At that point, what we do, because we have a faith, God is there, and then we have a pliable faith with that Ado Shraddha, then Tata Sadhu Sangha. Once that is there, you take the association of the devotees. In this chapter, Prabhupada explaining how the association of the devotees helps one to attract the mercy of the Krishna, right? So if you look at here, and then once we associate with the devotees, the third says, Adhita Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya. Then we start chanting Bhajana Kriya. And also in the Bhajana Kriya process, we also get instruction and initiation from the spiritual master. Then next one you go to another nivritti process. These are the four primary stages of they falls into the regulative principles process. Why? Because until we complete our unwanted desires, which is called unwanted desires, we cannot get the love of God. Okay? Because when you have desires, unwanted desires, our focus always goes on the desires. There's no pure love for God. We do, but we like a time sharing. We don't do pure bhakti to Krishna. So when we start this, there develops a attachment and taste for devotional service. This taste and attachment, when gradually intensifies in the course of time, becomes love. After certain stages, adhusada, the sadhusanga, bhajana kriya, another nivritti. After another nivritti process, there are different stages like nishta. Then nishta means a firm faith. Then asakti, attachment comes to holy name. Then bhava, prema, these will develop later. The word love can be applied only in relationship with the personality of Godhead. Why? Because in the material world, there is no real love exists. The love, when comes from the spiritual world and contaminated with the three modes of material nature, the love becomes lust. Lust only, Arjuna, he says in the second chapter, lust. So what goes under the name of love in the material world is nothing but lust. There's a gulf difference between lust and love, difference between gold, like a gold and iron. In the Narada Panchachitra state that when lust is completely transferred to the spiritual supreme Lord, right, the concept of kinship is completely reposed in him. When you develop that lust from material world, when you develop relationship with Krishna, that's really pure love. Such is accepted by the pure love of God by great artists like Brahma, Prahlada, and Uddhava. That's how the definition of the love has been defined. Love is a pure relationship with you and Krishna that develops. That is only in the spiritual realm, not in the material realm. The love doesn't exist, the lust. And also, greater Bhishma explained love of God means completely giving up all so-called love for any other person. So, at the stage comes that Krishna is the only person you have a relationship developed, and you have no other relationship with anyone. According to Bhishma, love means reposing one's affection completely upon one person, withdrawing all affinities for any other person. And also, this Rupa Goswami Prabhupada also accepts the pure love for God or pure bhakti love for God has been very clearly given. Anyabhilashita shunyam. You have no other interest. Jnana karmadi anarvritam. By jnana or karma, whatever it develops. Anukula yena Krishna anushilana. You at that point, you do whatever is favorable, what Krishna wanted to do it. Krishna want you to do it. Bhakti, that is the highest bhakti. That is a pure love for Krishna. This pure love can be transferred to spiritual, transferred to the Supreme Personality of God under two conditions: out of ecstasy by you, and also out of causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Also, we want to love Krishna. It's not just your factor. You have developed these things, but Krishna has to give mercy so that you can love Him unconditionally. Okay. The different symptoms develop over the time. Ecstatic love of God can be potently invoked by simply following the rules and regulations of devotion service as prescribed in the scripture. So as we do, these rules and regulations called Vaidhi Bhakti, basically it's called Vaidhi Bhakti. When you develop it after a long time, that Vaidhi Bhakti slowly matures, and that gives a Ragatmika Bhakti. Raga means attachment. So in the Adho Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti process, there we have to do a lot of this regulative, not Ragatmika Bhakti. It's basically we have to do Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay. And once you cross another nivritti process beyond that, then it's automatically becomes Ragatmika Bhakti attached. Form fixed Krishna is there. And asakti attachment comes to Krishna and holy name. And you will not live without a second without taking the name of Krishna. That attachment comes automatically. Okay. And devotional is in the direction of bona fide, everything under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master. 11th canto, second chapter also explains that ecstatic love born of the execution of regulative regular devotional service is explained. A devotee in the course of executing regulated principles of devotional service develop his natural Krishna consciousness, and being thus soft and heart, and he dances like a madman. Once you come to that level, your heart becomes very, very soft. Soft in the sense like you become more like malleable. Okay, and also you dances when you see you basically relish the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. While performing chanting the holy name of Krishna, he sometimes cries, sometimes talks wildly, sometimes sings, and sometimes without caring for any outsider. You don't have, okay, what he is going to think if I say this. You become madman on Krishna. You become so ecstatic. We always talk about Krishna. Chant is glorious extra that comes to the next level. The Padma Purana also stated, ecstatic love born of spontaneous affection. Chandrakant, a celebrated fair-faced girl, rigidly observed celibacy in order to obtain Krishna as husband. She always engaged herself in meditating on the transcendental form of the Lord, always chanted the glories of the Lord. She did not desire to accept anyone else her husband. She had firmly decided that only Lord Krishna would be her husband. Right? Even in the case of Mother Rukmini, how she accepted Krishna. Krishna comes. She just heard about Krishna, his qualities. She decided, okay, Krishna comes and he marries me. And Krishna came by the will of the devotee. Okay. And also Lord's extraordinary mercy. When a devotee is found to be always associated with the Lord in ecstatic love, understood that such a position has been awarded by the Lord himself out of his causeless mercy. The development of love with Krishna is not just only our effort. Krishna has to give that mercy to become pure devotee, because most of the time, Krishna Prema is not easy to get. We have to hanker for it. Then only Krishna gives mercy. And Krishna does not give just easily for everyone. He sees um, our effort, how much we're hankering for Krishna. Based on that, mercy would come. An example of such extraordinary is in 11th canto, verse 7, tells Uddhava, the gopis in Vrindavan, he gives an example, gopis in Vrindavan, they did not read any Vedas, they did not go to any college degree, and they simply had a mad love for Krishna, and did not go any kind of hostility. Simply by my association, they have attained the highest perfectional devotion service. My association. What is the meaning of my association? Chanting his glories, hearing Krishna Katha, associating the devotees. These are the things, when we acquire those qualities, then mercy of Krishna comes. Okay. And I'll just go to the last sentence here. Generally, a devotee who has achieved causeless mercy of the Lord on account of following strict rules and regulations of devotional service becomes attracted by the supreme greatness of the Lord, by transcendental beauty of the Lord, with the spontaneous execution of devotional service. This spontaneous execution comes after following the Vaidhi Bhakti. To be more clear, by executing the regulated principles of devotional service, one can fully appreciate the transcendental beauty of the Lord. In any case, such exalted positions are possibly only by the extraordinary mercy of the Lord upon the devotee. Okay, so here also, Prabhupada writes that, in other words, a Vaishnava who is incessantly thinking of the form of Lord, he is to be known as pure Vaishnava. In Arada Pancharatra, pure, unalloyed devotional service is explained as being without any motive for personal benefit. No other, Anyabhilasa Shunyam, I have no other interest. If a devotee is continuously in love with Lord Krishna and his mind is always fixed upon him, okay, that devotional attitude will prove to be the only means of attraction, the attraction, the attention of the Lords. So here also, if you look at in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada beautifully writes, what is that shloka? Krishna Nama Nirantara Yahara Vadane, Sei Vaishnava Srestha Bhaja Sanahara Charane. Translation Prabhupada writes, a person who is always chanting the holy name of the Lord is to be considered first class Vaishnava. And your duty is to serve his lotus feet. It's not, how do you define a Vaishnava, Parama Vaishnava? Nirantara Krishna Nama Yahara Vadane. Always the name of Krishna. Sei Vaishnava Srestha, that Vaishnava is Srestha, Bhaja Tarantara Charane, always at his lotus feet. Here, Prabhupada beautifully writes, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj says that any Vaishnava who is constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord should be considered to have attained the second platform of Vaishnavism. Such a devotee is superior to a neophyte Vaishnava who has just learned to chant the holy name of the Lord. A neophyte devotee simply tries to chant the holy name, whereas the advanced devotee is accustomed to chant and takes pleasure in it. One chants and also takes pleasure in it. Such an advanced devotee is called Madhyama Bhagavata, which indicates that he has attained intermediate stage between the neophyte and perfection. Generally, a devotee in the intermediate stage becomes a preacher. A neophyte devotee or ordinary person should worship the Madhyama Bhagavata, who is a via media. Okay, so what is the meaning of Nirantara? Means the word Nirantara meaning without cessation, means without stop. Continuously, constantly is very important in this verse. Right? And here, if you go, there is a different meanings. Nirantara means Nirantar, means without any interval. Nirantar means also body. There are 3-4 meanings are there, which I'm not going to go through. And if you get a chance to read this sloka, so beautifully Prabhupada explains that there are different meanings for Nirantar. Body, money, etc. All those things come in Nirantar. Okay, so that's the meaning of that. Krishna Nam, who is a Vaishnava, the definition, who is taking the name of Nirantara Krishna Namaya Haravadane, Sei Vaishnava Srestha. That Vaishnava is Srestha. Here, Prabhupada beautifully said. That's what, to attain the pure love of God, that has to be followed. Nirantara Krishna Namaya Haravadane. Always the glories of Krishna, chanting, hearing Krishna Katha, taking the association of the devotees, then we attract the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Okay? Then here also, next topic here we have is association with the pure devotees of the Lord. Okay, and we get a lot of sadhus coming from Vrindavan, a lot of spiritual masters coming from here and there, and we go and we take their association. Right? There is one nice shloka in Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is the benefit of taking the association of the devotees? Here, Prabhupada writes that sadhu sanga sarva shastra koi, lavamatra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hai. Right? Here, sadhu sanga sarva shastra koi. Lavamatra sadhu sangha. A movement association of a sadhu give sarva siddhis, gives everything. Here Prabhupada writes, the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment of association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. One can attain all success. That's the beauty. According to astronomical calculation, Elava is 1/11th. I don't know where this came from. But anyway, so that's the meaning of Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Koi. Here, we'll just see what Prabhupada is explaining association with the pure devotees. Although many different processes for developing love of God have been explained so far, the different processes have been explained to attract the mercy of the Lord. So Rupa Goswami now gives us a general description of how one can best achieve such a high position. Getting Krishna, love of God is not a ordinary position, high position. The beginning of ecstatic love of God is basically faith. As I said, Ado Shraddha, a basic pliable faith. There are many societies and associations of the pure devotees. And if someone with a little or just faith begins to associate with such societies, his advancement to pure devotional service is rapid. Once we have a faith, then we go and come to the sadhana. For example, we go to Bhakti Rikshas, we go to temples so that we get the like-minded people associated with the devotees. So here Prabhupada writing that associate with such societies, the advancement to the pure devotional service is rapid. That's very quicker. Why? Because you discuss, you ask, and you chant with them, and you associate with them. Then that devotion, that love develops quickly. Otherwise, you sit at yourself and you start speculating yourself, and that takes time. The influence of a pure devotee is such that if someone comes to associate with him with a little faith, one gets chance of hearing about the Lord from authoritative scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. This is very important. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita is recommended to hear from the realized souls or who are in the process of bhakti, so that they can impart this knowledge. And this also gives us that why we have to take a shelter of bona fide acharya, because as shelter of bona fide acharya is that gives what is that when you ask questions to him, paripranena pariprashnena sevaya upedyakshanti te jnanam tattvadarshina. When you go to the realized soul to your Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, take association, they impart their knowledge. When you ask questions submissively, that is also one of the tricks to get the mercy of Krishna. Thus, by the mercy of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, one gradually develops his faith in the description of such authoritative scriptures. But again, you try to test it. When you hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam from devotees or non-devotees, you can see how much difference it makes. Why? Because devotees carry Krishna in their heart all the time. They carry Krishna in the heart. So that's given. So when you speak with that mood with Krishna in the heart, and that reciprocation comes. That reciprocation, so that imparts knowledge and reciprocation comes. If you go to non-devotees, the effect is not so much. That's why it is said that the scriptures have to be heard from the devotees and the spiritual masters, so that they the information is correctly given, and that has effect on them, because the consciousness of the devotees and spiritual masters, this consciousness, elevated consciousness, that consciousness would work on them so that they can change, they can become devotees as well. That's by the mercy of the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, because Paramatma is sitting in everyone's heart. One gradually develops his faith in the descriptions of such authoritative scriptures. Some people doesn't even believe Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. But when you come to the proper source, proper people to hear from them, then you develop that faith on the scriptures. That's the advantage of association with the devotees. This is the first stage of association with the pure devotees, the first stage. The second stage, soon after one becomes little advanced and mature, he automatically offers to follow the principles of devotional service under the guidance of the pure devotee, accepts his spiritual master. So, Adho Tata Sadhu Sangha, and Bhajana Kriya comes. Bhajana Kriya comes like you take initiation, instructions from the spiritual master when you're advanced in this. In the next stage, under the guidance of spiritual master, the devotee executes regulative devotional service. At that time, still bhakti is not matured enough. You develop a regulative principles, regulations, four regulative principles. You should what do's, what don't do's, and then you practice with. And as a result of such activities, when you follow four regulative principles strictly and follow this and all the masters, and becomes freed from all unwanted occupations. That means another nivritti process begins from there. Adho Siddha, that's Sadhu Sangha, you took Bhajana Kriya, then another nivritti. We all have infinite unwanted desires, whether we accept it or not. Subtle level or gross level, we have those. All those will be, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu beautifully explains, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Our heart is like a mirror. This mirror has a lot of thick of dust. That dust has to be removed so that you can see the face in the mirror. How that dust has to be removed? If you go to an old room, okay, 10 years you did not open the door. So you open the door, you see, Lord, the moment you open the door, dust falls. You like this, you do this. Our heart is like that. The moment you start chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, all the dirt comes. At that point, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling like chanting, all dirt is coming. You remember this, that, everything. That happens in the initial stages of chanting. Some people even give up the chanting also when the dust comes. But we have to consistently follow that, because that only possible when you have this sadhu sangha. That's why Adho Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, the sadhu sangha will help you to firmly fix. Then you take the bhajana kriya, and another nivritti process is a very, very laborious and very painful process sometimes as well for some devotees. Why? Because we have the desires which are there in our heart is not only from this life. The multiple millions of lifetimes we have gone through, all the desires are here now. And that has to be cleansed. Unwanted desires, subtle level and also gross level. Those have to be removed. That's only possible with association of the devotees. Okay, all unwanted occupations. When he is freed from unwanted occupation, his faith becomes firmly fixed. Nishtha, Krishna. That, as per the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, even the another nivritti process takes at least 2 to 3 lifetimes for some. I don't know, I may take 3 lifetimes. But he's in an average 3 lifetimes because lot of desires, lot of unwanteds. Subtle level, there are many desires than gross level. We don't admit them, but they have a lot of desires we have. That has to be cleansed. Then only a pure bhakti would come into the picture. Now, I was reading Prabhupada purports, an iota of desire in our mind or in our chitta that brings us back to this material world again. That's why Prabhupada intelligently, Anyabhilashita Shunyam, have no other interest. We have seen in the first paragraph also, no other interest other than Krishna in my life. That's the only place that's the only pure love develops at that point. Then you understand who you are, who Krishna is, and your relationship with Krishna. Okay, and faith becomes steadily fixed, and it develops a transcendental list for devotional service. Namaruchi. Babu, I am not able to chant. I don't like chanting. Even now also I don't like chanting. Honestly, I'm telling you. I'm just looking for when the 16th beat comes, 16th round comes. I'm very happy. 16th round. I don't have to chant again until tomorrow morning. Namaruchi. It develops a transcendental taste for devotional service. Only with unwanted desires have been completely removed and firm faith. Krishna is there. Krishna is my protector. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshamam. You come to that level. Then attachment, fixed, firm faith, asakti, attachment. Once that comes, it's like a rocket ship from there. Then ecstasies, ecstatic symptoms develops in the body. The last stage, the pure love of God. The word love of God only we are seeing when it comes to ISKCON, right? Love of God. We have been a fear of God since childhood, but love of God only Prabhupada gave those. Mahaprabhu gave the pure love of God. The different stages in the development of pure love. Only the most fortunate person can achieve such success in life. Look at that. Getting pure love of God is a very, very rare, durlabha, very rare. Only most fortunate person gets such success in life. Those are simply academic students of the Vedic scriptures cannot appreciate how such a development takes place. If you go to school, you cannot learn these things. It's not learning from the schools, academicians. Okay, in Narada Pancharatra, Lord Shiva therefore tells Parvati, my dear Supreme Goddess, you may know from me that any person who has developed the ecstasy of love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who is always merged in transcendental bliss on account of this love cannot even perceive the material distress or happiness coming from the body or mind. Jnana karmad anuruttam. Anukulayena Krishna Nishilanam. This also gives shloka. Brahmabhuta prasannatma. Nashochati, nakangshati. Samasarveshu vedeshu mad bhakte labate param. That ledge, the account of love, cannot even perceive the material distress. Matra sprashasu kaunteya, sitoshna samadukka. Right at that point, don't care for happening around small little things around the world, here and there. No, your firm fixed Krishna is my Lord. He is my protector. He is my maintainer. I have no one else. Distress or happiness coming from the body or the mind, because these two are the problems, body and mind, makes us to dance. But once we surrender to Krishna, we are out of this. Krishna is my only. Okay. And the affection and the dealings of love that are different branches of the original tree of love precede many varieties of affectionate manifestation that will not be discussed here. This is different historical. So here, the Rupa Goswami thus concludes the first division of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, offering up his treatise for the transcendental pleasure of Sanatana Goswami, because there's Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were brothers, and Sanatana Goswami is elder to Rupa Goswami. And he wrote this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Rupa Goswami is his tries for the he wrote transcendental pleasure of his brother. This whole he's saying that to give pleasure to my brother Sanatana Goswami, who had established the transcendental beauty and of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Okay, six Goswamis Vrindavan, and Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Goswami. So here he did not refer Jiva Goswami, because Jiva Goswami is the very youngest Goswamis. Jiva Goswami is the nephew of Rupa Sanatana Goswami. And Rupa Sanatana Goswami are from Karnataka. Okay. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami from Srirangam. And Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami from West Bengal. And Jiva Goswami is the nephew of Rupa Sanatana Goswami. And at that point, when Bhakti Rasamrita was written, Jiva Goswami was not yet active in the Bhakti process. It was written. So these are some of the uh, uh, salient features how Bhakti has to be developed with association of the devotees. And we can also read one shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, how Bhakti has to be perceived. Here, Prabhupada, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo, Yato Bhakti Radokshije, Ahatvaki Apratihata. The love for Krishna has to be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Ayatma Supras, that's the one only gives a satisfaction to the heart. Here, Prabhupada writes, the supreme occupation of Dharma. What is that Sajna Mahaprabhu said? Jivareswarupe Krishnera Nichita. That is our Dharma. We are the servant of the servant of the servant. Is that by which men can attain to love, of course, men means women also, can attain loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated. Because we go with the motivation. We do business with God. Okay, you give me this, you give me that, I'll put 500 rupees in your hundi. We go to Tirupati, we do that way, right? Okay, do this one, I'll give 500. Then God is thinking, what kind of a fool you are? I can keep everything, everything belongs to me. Why you have to give me 500 rupees to me, right? We do business with God. Must be unmotivated and uninterrupted. Means that Nirantara Krishna Namaya Haravadani, uninterrupted, completely satisfied. At that point, you get the complete satisfaction. Prabhupada writes here beautifully. The statements of Goswami answered the first question of the sages Naimisharanya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part to the fallen people or the people in general might easily take up. When people in Naimisharanya, when Suta Goswami, right? When Suta Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami, when he explaining to Parikshit Maharaj, when he's narrating to Parikshit Maharaj. And Suta Goswami, without taking any notepad, without taking any notes, all 18,000 shlokas, he remembered. He remembered, and he came to deliver in Naimisharanya. 60,000 sages have assembled there. Why did they assemble there? They wanted to give solution to the people in Kali Yuga. Because they said Kali Yuga is coming, Kali Yuga is most fallen. They wanted to do big yajna and give the result to the Kali Yuga people so they can live peacefully. And they explained the Kali Yuga, Prayena halpa ishasabhya kalo asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manga bhagyati upatritaha. People in Kali Yuga are most fallen. They fit for nothing. For them, they had a conference, Naimisharanya, 6,000 sages assembled. And they're doing big yajna. Big yajna, they are doing yajna konda. And yajna started. Then they heard Rishis, oh, Suta Goswami is coming. And he's coming, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam is coming here. Then they thought, okay, Suta Goswami is coming now. Should we stop this yajna or what should we do? Then all the sages said, no, we should stop the yajna. If Sutta Goswami sees that we are performing yajna, he would ask us to continue yajna, he won't speak. Then we don't get the Bhagavad Pravachan from him. What is important in these two things? The Bhagavad Pravachan or yajna? Says said, no. Wow, just stop yajna. And they all, 6 said, they just stopped the yajna. They're pretending, no yajna is done. They're just pretending as if they're waiting for Sutta Goswami. And Sutta Goswami came. Oh, you're waiting for you, Sutta Goswami. Can you please explain narration of Bhagavatam? He said, okay, that's fine. Because he was not knowing that they were doing the yajna before. It means that in any instance, a Bhagavad Pravachan is going on. There's more given precedence over any other yajnas as well. Because we are glorifying Krishna. When the Bhagavad Gita class going on, Prabhupada used to say, when Prabhupada is giving class, of course, we don't have that much potency. Oh, Brahma is coming, Narada Muni is coming when he is giving class. All the devatas would present when class, when Krishna is glorified, all the demigods would come there. So Naimisharanya, he is giving this to him. What is telling that? The poor people are fallen, general. Then the rishis put a question to Sutta Goswami. What is the process people in Kali Yuga would take and get satisfaction or would get the most benefit out of this? He said, the Vedas prescribe two types of occupations on human being. One is called Pravritti Marga, path of sense enjoyment. Other is a Nivritti Marga, the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is inferior. The path of Nivritti Marga is superior. That's the renunciation. The material existence of the living being is diseased condition of actual life. Look at that beautifully. The material existence of the living being is diseased condition of actual life. What is our actual life is? We are a part and parcel of Lord Sri Krishna. But the way we are living is in a diseased condition. At least we are we got the mercy of Prabhupada and our spiritual masters. We are at least taking this path. But other than that, we're just like animals, just a social animal, that's all. Actual life is spiritual existence. Who are you? You're not this body. Brahmabhuta existence. Look at that, Prabhupada. Brahmabhuta existence we are. How to achieve this Brahmabhuta? Rupa Goswami Prabhupada explained, taking the association of the devotees, doing how to attract mercy of Krishna. Association of the devotee, hearing about Krishna. Nirantar Krishna Namaya Haravadane, say Vaishnava Shrestha. That Vaishnava, Krishna attracts mercy. That is the success of life, where life is eternal, blissful, full of knowledge. Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, spiritual body. We are also part and parcel. We have Satchidananda Vigraha, our soul. Right? We have same characteristic of Krishna. Minute quantity. Full of eternal, blissful, and knowledge. Material existence is temporary, illusory, and full of miseries. Full of miseries. Tell me, raise a hand who doesn't have misery. Whole material world is full of miseries. If you say you are not having miseries in the material world, means you are challenging Krishna. Krishna said, Dukkhalayam Ashvashvatam Napnuvanti Mahatmana Samsiddhim Paramam Gataha. Dukkhalayam Ashvashvatam. This material world is temporary. Krishna, manufacturer of the world, is telling you cannot live happily here. But we are looking for happiness where happiness doesn't even exist. Means we are challenging Krishna all the time. No, Krishna, you're telling I cannot live happily. Let me try it. Let me take up this job. I'll be happy. Krishna, failure. Let me take up this one. Let me change house. Let me change this, that. Keep on changing. Peace never comes. Never happiness arises here. Krishna said, you cannot live happily here. And I have a abode called Goloka Vrindavan. We can come there. I can have a relationship with you. We can happily spend time there. No, Krishna, I'm not interested in that one. Let me struggle here. I want to prove you wrong, Krishna. You said the Kal Mashvasham. No, I'll try to be happy here. Our failures, attempts, all waste finally. Futile. There's no happiness. Look at that. There's no happiness at all. This sentence proposed, no happiness at all, but we're looking for happiness. What fools we are. What kind of fools we are. Where happiness doesn't exist, we're looking for happiness. We lost keys somewhere in the parking lot. We're coming and searching in the house for the keys. Do you get? No. It is just futile attempt to get So look at that. There is just futile attempt to get rid of miseries. When we are trying to solve our problems, it's just a waste of time. That's why chant Hare Krishna. Prabhupada said, chant and be happy. Miseries would come regardless of whatever situation we are. And temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. How do you define happiness in the material world? A gap between two miseries is called happiness. A gap between two miseries is called the hiatus. The gap is called happiness. That's all. Therefore, the path of progressive material enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, and illusory, inferior. But devotional service of the Supreme Lord, which leads one to eternal, blissful, all cognizant, all knowledgeable life, is called superior quality occupation. Savai pumsam paro dharmo. Yato bhaktira adokshaje. Adokshaja means Krishna. The definition of adoksha means who is beyond these three material senses, material modes, is Krishna, adokshaja. Take the bhakti for the adokshaja. He can give you peace. This is sometimes called polluted when mixed with inferior. For example, okay. Anyway, I just want to stop here, dear devotees. So, this is how the Bhakti Raksamsa Sindhu is summarizing how to use these various elements to attract the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. We have seen Prabhupada is telling it time and again, there's no point in solving material problems. We have to solve up to a certain extent. Beyond that, leave it to Krishna. Your duty is just take the devotional service. And your duty is Jivare Sarupe Krishna Das. Follow that. Okay, it is sometimes called mixed with inferior, whatever it is. So such enjoyment, this is sometimes polluted with mixed with inferior quality. For example, adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction of the progressive renunciation, negation. That's okay. So anyway, so just I wanted to here we have purposefully denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of word dharma, which can sustains one's existence. That is our real existence. A living being is sustenance of his existence is coordinated with the activities. Anyway, I'll stop here, dear devotees. I will leave, we have like a 10, 15 minutes time. I would leave time for the questions, or I would like to invite, because, you're all learned devotees, would add any more points which I missed it. Please unmute and speak up. Hare Krishna, you're all there? Okay, let me take up one more sloka in that case, if you're not talking. We'll read this one also. What Prabhupada explaining what's the meaning of Nirantara. Okay. The word Nirantara meaning without cessation, continuously, constantly chanting is very important in this verse. The word Antara means interval. If one has desire other than desire to perform devotional service, in other words, if one sometimes engages in devotional service and sometimes strives for sense gratification, his service will be interrupted. That's okay. A pure devotee, therefore, should have no desire other than to serve Krishna. A pure devotee should have no other, anya abhilashita shonyam, have no other desire. He should be above fruitive activity and speculative knowledge. In Bhaktaram Sindhu, anya abhilashita shonyam, jnana karmadi anavrutam, anukula yena Krishna anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. This is the platform of pure devotional service. One should not be motivated by fruitive activity or mental speculation, but should simply serve Krishna favorably. This is a first-class devotion. Okay, what's the definition of first-class devotion is uninterruptedly, right? Serving Krishna favorably, not like, even Kamsa, Shishbala, Dantavakra, they remembered Krishna unfavorably. But I know we're all devotees. I don't think anyone has any bad intention against Krishna. So we take that devotion. Another meaning of Anantara is the body. The body is an impediment to self-relation because it's always engaged in the sense gratification. So sometimes our body becomes a problem. Why body doesn't let us do things what we are supposed to do? Impediment. self-realization, because it always engages in the sense gratification, because our senses are so perverted, we wanted to enjoy senses. That's why Prabhupada says that Rishikeshana Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchita. Use your senses for the Supreme Lord so that senses becomes tamed. Similarly, Antara means money. If money is not used in Krishna's service, it is also impediment. Dear devotees, look at this, so beautiful. The money, Antara means money. If money is not used in Krishna's service, it's also an impediment. Antara also means Janata, people in general. The association of ordinary persons may destroy the principles of devotional service. This is very important. The association of the non-devotees will destroy our devotion. Similarly, antara means greed. Greed to acquire more money to enjoy more sense gratification. That's also so. The different meanings of antara. Nirantara Krishna namaya haravadane. First antara is nirantara means always. Antara means so many. How body becomes a impediment. How money becomes a impediment for the devotional service. Here we discuss about the body and also money, if not used properly, and greed also. Finally, the word antara may also mean atheistic ideas, by which one considers the temple deity to be made of stone, wood, or gold. Look at how many meanings Prabhupada writes here about antara. Thinking about the deity as a stone or wood or gold. All of these are impediments. The deity in the temple is not material. He is the supreme personality of God himself. Similarly, considering the spiritual master as an ordinary human being, Guru Naramati is also impediment. Nor should one consider a Vaishnava a member of particular caste or a nation. Nor should a Vaishnava be considered material. So these are some of the rules and regulations we have. So Charanamrita should not be considered ordinary drinking water. When you go to Charanamrita temple, no, I'm fine. No, I don't drink lot, but we have to take Charanamrita as well. And the holy name of Lord should not be considered an ordinary sound vibration. Some of the 10 offenses also preach same things. Nor should one look on Lord Krishna as an ordinary human being, for he is the origin of all Vishnu Tattvas. Nor should one regard the Supreme Lord as a demigod. I think this is one of the 10 offenses. Intermingling spiritual masters with the material causes one to look on transcendence, etc. So these are all the etiquettes we need to follow to attract the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna. And also, Bhakti Ramsa Sindhu, so Jiva Goswami writes, Namaikam yasya vachi smarana pata gatam iti adav deha dravinadi nimitaka pasanda shabdena cha dasha aparada lokshate pasanda matcha desam. In the verse beginning Namakya Yasya, we find the word pasanda, godless. The word literally indicates misuse of one's body or property. But in that verse, it implies 10 offenses against the holy name, since each of these leads to such godless behavior. So I'll stop here, dear devotees. So these are some of the etiquettes, some of the rules we follow so that we can with the attraction and we get the Lord's mercy and we all become pure devotees and have a relationship with Krishna and go back to Godhead. As Prabhupada writes here, we are in the diseased condition of the life. The real life is spiritual. We are spiritual. We are all spiritual by nature. And Krishna is present in our heart in the sleeping dormant mode. We have to activate Krishna and go back to Godhead. Okay. Any questions? Any reflections, comments? Okay. If not, then I'm done, Simeshwar Prabhu.
Prabhuji, it's very nice class, very informative, but to become a practical without chanting, without offense, how long it takes to do that?
So you're asking question how to chant without offense.
Right. And how long it takes to without.
It doesn't take long. It takes fraction of a second. The chanting without offense means that what I would request is that uh, the don't like what you call um, don't blame any devotees. Okay, especially Krishna doesn't like when you blame or when you say bad things about devotees, the temple or Vaishnavas. Okay, that's the first skill we need to learn. Okay, respect Vaishnavas. And you don't have to be like, bending in front of them, but just respectful to the Vaishnava. Yeah, for that matter, any person we should be respectful and just do our duty. You don't have to be not doing any extraordinary to impress anyone. Just your focus is Lord Say Krishna and try to be gentle with people, good behavior. Those are the simple things we need to. And also hear Krishna Katha or, in the temple, any spiritual masters coming, Vaishnavas coming, they take their association, hear Krishna Katha from them and attending the Srimad Bhagavatam Bhagavata classes. These all would help you chant properly, not to offenses. We don't want to blame devotees, this, that. So offenses are the things which Krishna doesn't like it. Because you are a devotee, other person is devotee. He is chanting, you are chanting, and you are chanting Krishna's name and you are blaming devotee. Krishna doesn't like it. So just follow simple, these rules would be sufficiently enough for us to strengthen your chanting.
No, I'm concerned for myself. So every day I do check mark how much I did without offense, how much I do. But
The,
it
the
happens with offense all the time. I know myself.
Yeah. The litmus test for that one, Mataji, when you chant, you feel like more chanting. There's a test that you have an Amarichi. That's where, Krishna allows to chant his name more when you don't offend anyone. So when you're chanting, you feel like more chanting. That's a test. Oh, Krishna is giving mercy. I can chant his name more. Yeah.
Thank
Or, once 4 rounds, for example, 8 rounds, oh, I don't have to chant. And also one more thing, remember, Mataji, Nirantara Krishna Nama. For example, your Mataji, you may be cooking in the kitchen. You may be always remember some pastime, put some kirtan, all the time, 24/7, hear about Krishna. Then you develop love for Krishna.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the best way. Because we have a lot of Maharaja's classes, whichever you are attracted to hear their class. So all the time, about Krishna. Of course, your working is a different story. You work and the remaining times you follow whatever Rupa Goswami Prabhupada said, 5 items. Minimum those things we have to follow.
Thank you,
Okay?
Prabhuji.
Sure.
If nobody has a question, can you answer my other question I asked you before
What was the question? I forgot the question.
My grandson was asking me, and I could not answer that. Why do we fast on a God's birthday or a guru's birthday? When we celebrate humans' birthday, big parties and all those things. Why? What is the reason behind? I could not.
Yeah, even Krishna's birthday also we do big party in the evening. With Janmashtami, we invite so many people, give so much prasadam. We do party. See, these days are called Madhavatiti. Ekadasi day we fast. Madhavati, of course, we eat certain foods. We avoid certain foods. And on the especially appearance days of Vaishnavacharyas, we fast until noon. And Janmashtami, we fast until midnight. And Gaura Purnima, we fast until moon rises. So these are basically the Madhavatiti. Madhavatiti means it's a Lord's Tithi called Bhakti Janani. Madhavatiti, Bhakti Janani. So this is so much for you to show your gratitude to Lord. Just stay until that point, and it may have some Shastric benefits. I don't know exactly, but at least showing your gratitude. Then in the evening, when the moon rises, or in the midnight arati in Ekadasi, we fast until that point and we eat it. So it just attract the mercy of the Lord to get more mercy from the Lord. That's all. That's what I know about. It is mentioned the Shastras also is recommended to fast on these days so that you get the mercy of the Lord. On that day, especially, we chant more rounds and your mood is so devotional, and do service at home, go to temple, you see all the devotees, you meet them, and God is decorated nicely. Okay, with all these, and we are basically fasting also, like you're controlling your senses, that way, that then you can attract the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna more. Then in the night time, whatever time is given, you break your fasting. You see, Mesh Prabhu might have a better answer than me. So,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. To attract the mercy of the Vaishnavas. For example, here Prabhupada giving how to attract the mercy of Krishna. That's one of the rules also. Fasting on Ekadasi. Ekadasi is a Madhava Tithi. It gives bhakti when you follow rules and regulations. Yeah. Anyone else? Looks like everybody's tired.
I guess everybody comes from the job and
Yeah, they come to work. They just put, yes, I know, a lot of different distances they travel, and because they want to hear these Krishna Katha. That's a good thing, At least they are listening. That's a great. Ashish Prabhu is there. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So going back to the litmus test, so after the chanting, you want to chant more. But the thing is, but you want to read also.
Yeah,
You want to
it's
read, you
supplement.
want to listen to lectures, you
Yeah.
want to, so is that all in the same
Yes, you
category?
see.
Because you want more of it.
Yes, absolutely. It's not necessarily chanting. Okay, this then I went to this class. I want to this. So favorable for Krishna. Yes. Not necessarily chant. Some may want to chant extra round. Some may want to read some more about Krishna. Some may want to hear some kirtan. No, that's fine. But you have the appetite for more.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you for the wonderful class.
Unlike me, I just look for 13th, 14th, 15th, my ecstasy goes up. 16th, I'm done. Not like me. Oh, the tears comes from my eyes. People think I'm in ecstasy, but I'm happy I'm finishing 16 rounds. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, that's all there too. Like, okay, it's 16, right, done. Oh, now I want to read though, but now I want to listen to lectures also, so
Correct.
that's what it is. So.
Absolutely.
Any opportunity you get while folding clothes, while doing this, anything, cooking, anything. Listen.
Remember this sloka. I think I can give this. What is that? Sorry, one sec. Let me go up. From Chaitanya Charitamrita. Nirantara Krishna Nama Nirantara Yahara Vadane. Sei Vaishnava Sesta Bhaja Tanahara Char. A person is always chanting the holy name of Lord is to be considered the first class Vaishnava. That's it. That's all you should do. So it's lotus feet.
Thank you, Prabhuji, so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to you, Prabhupada.
Ajay, sorry, Amritsar Prabhu ki jai.
All glories to you, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, if I can share on this what Mataji asked, what Jayadvaita Maharaj had given an answer.
I'm looking for that, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
So, one devotee asked Maharaj that, oh, Maharaj, my wife, she's finding it very difficult to chant. She wants to chant, but she cannot chant because she has taken up a job. And then, with the work pressure, and then you come home and the kids and household work and all that. So chanting becomes very difficult. So Maharaj asked this Prabhu that if your wife stops working, will you come on the road? So he said, no. So Maharaj says, there you have your answer. It's your choice. What is more important? Is the additional money, income which is coming in, or is chanting more important? And similarly, what happens is all of us have 24 hours in a day. All of us. No one has more, no one has less. And then we need to prioritize. So if we say that so much time goes for doing whatever activities, then we can come to know, depending on the um, interest and the seriousness, like what you were saying, the intent, how much desire you have. Based on that, automatically, what we want to do, we will end up doing. So it's basically a personal choice. And of course, doesn't mean that you only do chanting and reading. There are other responsibilities, like you were saying, well, cooking, you can do chanting. Well, every little minute here and there, you could make time available. But it's just a matter of how we prioritize stuff. And one final, I'd shared this earlier a few days back. If we take an inventory of a day and a week, how we spend time, then we can really see that, there's so much more of devotional activities that we can engage with. There's a lot more, but the idea is to do the inventory. Then it becomes very clear. Otherwise, we just have some fuzzy idea. Oh, I'm doing so much, I'm doing that much, whatever. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks for sharing, Prabhuji. Thanks so much. Yeah. Okay, dear devotees, I think, is Ramesh Prabhu, are you there? Prabhu must be busy.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Krishna Guji, Dandavat Pranam, all good Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for a wonderful class, nicely explaining the association of devotees. This mentioned that Vapu and Vani, Vapu is physical association, Vani is also association through the words, literary works, scriptures, readings, all association. It's all Kirtaniya Sadahari. Is always the consciousness is with Krishna, that means Kirtaniya Sadahari. Very nice. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Anything would like to add? Tomorrow is Mahashivaratri. Tomorrow and Saturday in ISKCON calendar it is 9th. But some parts, some places it's starting tomorrow. Anybody has anything to add? Any other comments? Anything else to discuss?
Prabhu, are we doing anything for Shivaratri? I know we don't fast, but is there anything special that we can do? After all, he's the topmost Vaishnava, Lord Shiva.
Yeah, I mean, on Sunday we will be glorifying Lord Shiva at our temple. Other than that, yes, I mean, as we all say that some people as a Vaishnava fast till noon, since Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava. So in that perspective, when Vaishnava's disappearance, usually devotees also observe and fast till noon. But it's not necessary for Vaishnavas. It depends, right? How do we take it?
And if you fast, you break it with normal prasadam?
Yeah, Ekadashi or normal. I mean, it all depends on how much you wanted to get into. There is no rules. There is no rules here unless you are exclusively fasting for Lord Shiva. Many people they don't eat some. They will eat just some fruits or something. They all night they fast and all those things. So it all depends.
Okay, thanks, Prabhu.
Especially Shiva devotees, it's the day, greatest day for them. They do a lot of penances. I was reading in news that in Tamil Nadu, they cover 12 temples, 12 Shiva temples, and they travel 110 kilometers in this. It starts tonight and then it's finished by tomorrow night or early morning, Saturday morning. By this time, by walk or by running, they cover 12 Shiva temples. And I don't know what they do, what they chant. Govinda, Govinda, Gopala. They chant the Lord Krishna's name, Govinda, Govinda, all this time.
Mm. So these are
Yes.
Rudra Sampradaya, Prabhu.
There are many sampradayas, not only Rudra, there are many Shiva devotees, right? Shaktaya, Shaktayas, Shivas, Rudras. So many, sampradayas and cults and devotees, and, like there are,
Mm.
yeah.
So, Prabhu, if I can ask this question, and
Yes, yes.
especially those from India, there's always this big competition between Vaishnavites and Shaivites.
Shiva, it says, yeah.
So, but actually, Shiva is a Vaishnav himself. So the Shivite followers, the horizontal 3 marks they put on their forehead, like we have a tilak which is vertical.
Yeah.
Vaishnavas, they have it horizontal.
Yeah.
So they come under the Mayavad category, Prabhu.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this Mayavad, Brahmavad is all kind of intermixed, Bhaji. So they say everything comes from Shiva.
Hmm.
Shiva. That means they say Shiva is the potency, Shiva is the creator, Shiva is the maintainer, Shiva is the annihilator, everything is Shiva. Let's say that Shiva name itself is, everybody else worship Shiva. They say Ram worship Lord Shiva. So many things they say that. So this is their exclusive devotion to Lord Shiva. Maybe there are some scriptures or some Shiva Puran or something. Yes, Shiva is of course Lord's expansion. Lord Shiva. We know that Sada Shiva is the Lord, potency, Lord's expansion. Even Rudra is from the Lord Himself. So it is all how you understand. How do we understand this Lord Shiva's position? Many times people have less, lack of knowledge. That's where one thing is comes up. Plus, when they come up with kind of sampradaya,
Hmm.
then they started to have their exclusive worship, and based on this, you know, some scriptural references, that they start to worship in such a way that Shiva is everything, so that there is nothing beyond that. Shiva is a potency. Like many times, even in the greatest of our Hindu or our Sanatana dharmis, and they still believe that Krishna is from Vishnu. Krishna is the incarnation of Vishnu. Yes, I mean, because of they are lacking of the proper understanding, proper Vedic knowledge. They see Mahavishnu is everything. Everything else comes from Mahavishnu, but they don't have that understanding. So yes, so like that, when they have some, not a complete understanding of the Vedas and the scriptures and Puranas and where this original and origins of everything. So then they always have a concoctions, and then they will come up with some kind of sampradayas and the cult and all those things. Yes,
Hmm.
that's why these are there. That's why even they are fighting each other. Even if you go to India and ask, who is Krishna? Oh, Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu. Those things. Still, there
Hmm.
are many people say the same. They don't, because they don't understand. They don't have the original Bhagavatam. They have some interpretation of something from somewhere. They all, that's why this is very mixed up. That's why Srila Prabhupada is very clearly, we should distribute these books to everybody and understand what is the real hierarchy and who is the original person, who is the supreme lord, and where it's come from, all those things.
Okay. Thanks, Prabhu.
No problem.
Nice.
Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam to everyone. Prabhu, I have a question to question that in my mind, that I heard that Prabhuji told that Shuta Goswami remember the all 18,000 verse. I heard that Chaitanya Bhagavan itself, Krishna himself, Sri Chaitanya also remember 18,000 verse. Am I correct, Prabhu? I heard somewhere. Or maybe I.
I don't know about that fact. Mahaprabhu remembered 18,000 shlokas. I don't know that fact.
Okay, okay, okay. Maybe my mistake. I maybe
Mhm.
listen it somewhere, so maybe that is not correct, or that's why I want to confirm it from
Mhm.
you and uh, that's it. Okay,
The one fact is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has remembered most of the Bhagavatam verses.
okay,
Yeah, but
okay, okay.
Supreme Lord himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can remember all of those verses. And there is no doubt that we don't want to doubt about it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can
Mhm.
remember 18,000. Mahaprabhu can remember everything. Everything comes from him.
Mhm.
So,
Yes,
right? So, but as per general knowledge, or just that answer to that question is, I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembered most of the verses, even just reading, it's all by hearted. That's
okay.
a sign of, yeah, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord himself, no doubt.
Yes, yes, Babu. Dhanavad Pranam, Dhanavad Pranam, everyone. Thank you, Babu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just wanted to add this. When Keshav Kashmiri was debating, right, he came to Navadvip Dham, and he just created. He just said poems, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just found mistake in that verse. So he can remember everything. He is Supreme Personality of our Godhead, and everything came from him only. First, he gave to Brahmaji Chatushloki Bhagavad. So ultimately, he has everything in him. So he must be knowing, right?
Yeah. In that case of Keshav Kashmiri, Keshav Kashmiri was worshipping Mother Saraswati, and all the time Mother Saraswati is always there on the with Keshav Kashmiri, even on the tongue of Keshav Kashmiri.
Yeah.
When there was a challenge with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Mother Saraswati even mentioned that I had to serve my Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Keshav Kashmiri couldn't answer
Yeah.
properly.
Yeah.
So,
Because got boon from Mother Saraswati, nobody can defeat him. And then when he got defeated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he just prayed to Mother Saraswati, and she said, I said you cannot defeat by other people, not by Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So how can you win him? So yeah, just very nice pastime, Prabhuji.
yeah. Anything else? Anybody else to add? Any other comments? Yes, tomorrow is Mahashivaratri. We worship, also meditate on Lord Shiva. It's always very, very powerful. And we also seek mercy of Lord Shiva to take us more into the bhakti of Supreme Lord. And Lord Shiva always pleases with such devotion. You know that the story of Jadabharat, right? How the mother Kali, the Jadabharat was there, and the Kali devotees brought him to for a sacrifice. That's the time Mother Kali came directly and killed all the other his own devotees. That's why all these Vaishnavas, they always there to protect when there is a devotee of the Lord, Lord Shiva, Mother Kali, all the demigods, everybody, that they would always protect. They'll be always pleased just by the devotion to the Supreme Lord. So that's why it's mentioned that it's not necessary that we need to worship separately from Krishna. The same time, we also don't think that Lord Shiva is independently from the Supreme Lord. Lord Shiva is also part of the Supreme Lord. We don't think that, okay, Lord Shiva is independent. We should not have that kind of idea. Lord Shiva is also the expansion and the potential of the Supreme Lord Sankarshan. And Sankarshan is Lord Balaram. So Lord always expands his potency to maintain and to create and to annihilate. So Lord's Mahavishnu is that creation, and Brahma is maintenance, and Brahma is for the secondary creation, and whatever it is there, then Lord Shiva would his potency to annihilate that. It's all works in accordance with the Supreme Lord. It's all, that's a complete picture of it. So many people doesn't understand, and they just take a little bit out of the context, and then they start to speak on, okay, this is what, then they start to fight each other. They start to say, your God, my God, your religion, my religion, all those things. Because of this, they don't have the proper understanding, proper knowledge of what is God, who is the Supreme Lord. So Vaishnavas also respect, Vaishnavas also take and even pray to Lord Shiva and Lord Ganesha that please give us a mercy so that we can progress in bhakti. Should always remember that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Let's conclude then today's class. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Vancha kalpatarupasya Prabha siddhabhyeva cha paridanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namo.
Vaishnavrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Raj Sri Bhakti Rasamurtha Sindhu ki jai. Srila Rupa Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Nanda Gaudi Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande. Hari
Hari
Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Govardhan Bhakta Prabhu.
You go.
Thank you, everybody.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.